If you want to record as well, I'm just waiting for YouTube to go live. Good evening, YouTube. This is DFY Moneymakers with myself, Steve. Robert's here. We're going to let Richard into the room and anyone else who joins as we go along. It's the weekend of the 4th of July for...
Happy Independence Day, everybody here in America.
Yeah, absolutely. Good evening, Richard. Good to see you. You're welcome to unmute. There may not be many people about tonight because everyone might be on holiday. We don't know. So,
all right. No, it's good to be back.
nice to see. Have you been away, or have you just been
no, the previous weeks I've been tied up with like say social sort of do's that have encroached into the evening. And but then last week, and I said to my good lady, I said, it's 9 o'clock tonight. And then I just sat down and was watching something on telly. And she said, it's 10 o'clock. I went, so last week, no excuse for last week.
That's all right.
But no, it's good to be able to catch up and see, about where we are with things, etc.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we are going to, first of all, let me update everyone on school. Then Robert's going to talk about his website. Then we're going to switch just to Zoom only, where we don't record it. And we just have a general chat and see how things are going. So let me just share my screen a moment, and we'll bring up our school group. So for members who'll be catching up on this as we go along, the classroom's changed a little bit. And what we've done differently now is we're going to allow people into the school group for free, but to get access to the courses, they have to be part of the VIP section. And so we've been adding these into the VIP section, and you should have access already, Richard. If you don't, for any reason, message me. We'll make sure you do. Inside of here is the direct link to the course, and we've moved them onto Gumroad purely because then they're there forever. If school went pear-shaped for some reason, it's unlikely. It just means you can get access to all our stuff in there. The only one that's not showing in here at the moment is Voicey, and current members will get, all they need to do is just, if you haven't got Voicey, you just message me, it's part of your current membership. New members coming in will have to buy Voicey separately. And so the idea is under the community now, under the classroom, if we go into here, this is more a sales copy about what it is, and then you click to purchase. Or if you want access to all our stuff, you pay the monthly fee by joining there. So we've changed it around a little bit so that it's all paid through Gumroad. Current members will get everything we put in there ongoing, so don't have to worry about that. Obviously, if it's a third-party app that you need to purchase because we've done training on it, then it's a third-party app you'd have to go and get. We'll always try and add content in here. So all of these now are in here. I'm updating the social media marketing one over the next week, and we've got some new training coming up each month. And so far in here is the AI website builder one, where we show you using Cadence how we built a website using AI. Can you let in whoever that is, Robert?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's Al coming in. So in the group itself, what you'll be able to do is come in. If you are a VIP person, then you'll have access to this. If for any reason in your account, current members who are in there do not have access to this, message me. I know who you are, and we'll make sure you get access to that because that's part of your monthly membership now. All right. And as we add more and more training, you'll see something. You'll go, I wouldn't mind learning about that. And you just simply come into this section, find the relative product, click on it, and it'll give you access in Gumroad automatically. All right. So it's nice and easy. We've got some great softwares coming up as well. We've actually got, we're testing out today an SEO tool, which gives you loads of different information on it. And we're checking that's okay. That's a third party app, but we can give you access to it automatically as a VIP. So there'll be things like that. We'll be adding softwares in here, and then if it's like, for an example, if it's you need a third party app. So for an example, in Voicey, now, like I've said, current members will have access to Voicey because it is part. We already promised that before. New members will have to purchase it. So if you come in, if it says here, click here to purchase, and there's no option. If it says third party apps, current members message us first. If we can set you up an account, we will. All right. For an example, Task Magic is an app which we do a lot of stuff with. You have to go and purchase it, unfortunately, because we can't create accounts for it. But we will do training on social media using that. Also, Pably Connect is another example. We'll do training on Pably Connect, and so you may want to go and get that. But otherwise, we've got some good money making ideas. This is the latest one, the AI website builder. You can build a website in any niche. We built that in a day, didn't we, Robert? A few hours.
The site itself has been in a few hours. The content takes time.
Yeah, but the thing is,
even using AI, but we are building this entire site for you guys using everything AI, just to prove the point that is it going to rank or not rank? Is it different? So we're building it the slow, laborious way the first time, and then we're going to add in all our tools as we go later on. So you can see using Cadence AI, build it, see what it does, and then we'll slowly start adding in all of our relevant tools to the site. Towards the end. So it'll show everything when we're done.
Now, with the meetings, people have to be a member of the VIP to get to be on the Zoom calls. So when we say goodnight to YouTube, we then talk privately to those people on the calls. And that's the help and support and like how you're doing sort of thing. And you can share stuff on there, and it doesn't go any further than when we switched off YouTube. So that said, what we've done now, if you want to come and find a replay, there may be a more button here. I've already clicked on it. If you click on live view meetings, all the previous ones are here up to when we started this a few weeks ago. So, and we've dropped some of the other ones out only because they become old hat as such. But from now on, what you'll be able to do is come in live view meetings and play these back in your own leisure. And we don't, the stuff we're sharing isn't going to be stuff necessarily that it'd be more common knowledge stuff, or we'll be talking about a product inside of here. Like if we've up, we're doing training on rank math at the moment, and so we've got a few more weeks of testing, playing around with Robert's site, and then we're going to put the training into the members area. So you'll be able to come in here, build an AI website, use rank math to SEO it up, and then we're going to have separate citation training again, and so you'll be able to work your way through this. But not only that, in between, we'll have ideas to, like, for example, if you've got a product of your own, you want to be able to share it, we'll show you how to do social media management in an easy way, for an example. So we've got those options all in here. We're adding more and more training, and that's that part to it. So it means that also we can bring people into the group free, but they don't have access to anything. And if they want to, they can buy an individual course. So if they come in and they go, well, I only want to know, I'll just let him in. I only want to know about, for an example, how to build an AI website, but I don't need anything else. They can come into the group and they can go and grab just that one product on its own, a la carte. Or if they want access to everything, then they join for the $47 a month. So it means that as we add more content each month, you'll be able to come in here and the VIPs. I'll just show Lane this as well, that we've got a new section called Money Makers VIP, and all of you should have access. All current members should have access to this. And literally, this matches the products in the classroom. So if you wanted to learn about AI websites, you'd come into here. You'd look for the building the web AI website. You click on there, and it takes you over to Gumroad, and it it zeroes your cart for you for existing members. So nice. It's nice and easy like that. And part of all your membership as well is having like Voicey. If you don't have access to Voicey, message me direct. What we're doing as well, like I've mentioned already, is Voicey's be for new members coming in will be a separate charge product. Current members will get it included in the membership. So it just means you can request that. And as we go along, we'll add stuff in there, and anything we can give to current members included in there, then it'll be added in there for you. So
the value is always stacking up towards the membership, but certain products we have to keep on the side just to keep them separate in case the third-party software, anything was to happen to it, then it's already been separated.
Yeah. So
you want to look at the site next, Steve?
Just very quickly, because I didn't share did I share my screen that time? I'll just show a lane. So lane, all products are going to be under this. If you don't have access to that, let us know. All right. And then you'll just click on the link to go and get it. And then Voicey, which is a third-party app. If you haven't already got it, you message us. We make sure we set an account up for you, and you'll gain access to that as part. All current members get access to Voicey. Anyone who's on the current plan, and then anyone new coming in won't get Voicey included in their plan because it's a third-party app, and we pay for the accounts as we go along with those. So it's just a case of we'll be adding more and more content in here. And like I said, we've got a great SEO program coming up soon that we'll put in there for the VIPs, and social media management sort of stuff. We're going to be adding a lot of content over the coming weeks as we go along, weeks and months. So currently we are testing Rank Math on Robert's site, and we've been recording training. In a few weeks' time, that'll be ready. We just want to make sure that what we're doing with the SEO is working, which so far it is working. And as we do more and more SEO work with Rank Math, then we'll put that into a training course. But do you want to share, Robert?
Yeah, and for those that are new or haven't gotten into it yet, it's so simple to say, I'm going to go get somebody to do SEO for my company, right? Because I had some conversations this week, and so has Stephen. And SEO, search engine optimization, is a very broad term. And if you don't know, there's different aspects to it that will help you understand, especially when clients are coming to you and saying, well, how much would you just charge me for SEO? Well, again, that's like somebody driving the car up to the mechanic with the hood closed and the engine not running and saying, how much would it cost me to get this car fixed? You have no idea what they need done yet. They have to have a purpose of the website. They have to have certain criteria of things set up of what they're going to do. Are they going to be local? Are they going to be product or local service? Or what is the service? What is the area they're going to cover? What is their specialty? There's so many things that start to come up. And then you start talking about on page. What's in the website SEO? What's off page? What's out there on the net coming back to look at this website and push it up in the SEO rankings? What's going to be in their Google Business Partner listing? There's many, many questions that keep coming up that have to be answered before you start building. You have to know what you're going to build. If you don't have a blueprint for a high-rise building, how long do you think it's going to last? If they don't have a frame, if they don't follow a blueprint plan to build the building to withstand the 10 stories they're going to put on top, it's going to collapse. So it's the same thing. It's just that for people, websites are not a physical thing. They think it's just a black box and it's just a website. You have to really do a deep dive into what it's going to do. And Stephen and I have always been and always will be transparent. The good, the bad, and the ugly is what we show. Works, it works. Don't work, doesn't work. We're going to tell you it doesn't work. But we wanted to build this site for local area service using just the AI Cadence Builder, which we did. That's where we started with the training, and we went through it with you and how we did it. It was very quick, very easy, very simple. But there's still content. There's still taking the time to add the pieces to it as you go to say, what is this site going to do? So I'm going to share. Are you seeing the dashboard?
Yeah, we're seeing that. Just what you share, Robert. I had someone this week message me and say, "What about mates rates?" And he does plumbing. And I know he does drain clearance. And I said to him, "What do you charge to if I had a blocked drain?" He said a few £100s. I said, "Oh, will you do it for 20 quid then?" He went, "What do you mean 20 quid?" I went, "Mates rates." He soon got what I was getting at. I said, "If you want SEO done, you got to pay for it." I'm sorry, it's plain and simple.
It's just a concept of work. So what we did, we told you, we built the site using AI. We've already been through that with the training. We put the training in the members area. But what we did do is go back and we started adding the content, which we covered this last week as well. We added long content to all the pages, and then we added rank math. What did rank math do for us? Now you're going to see greens and yellows and reds and all kinds of colors. At the end of the day, you do the best you can following rank math's advice. Go back to the home page. Because rank math is a plugin that's installed. And we're going to look at the score up here from rank math based on what they're going to tell us for every individual page. We're going to go down and we're going to go through the title, the meta description. We're going to edit the meta description in the snippet. We're going to add a focus keyword. Every one of your pages doesn't have a focus keyword until you write the content for it. Once you write the content for it using AI, you're going to say, well, I want to write the content for pressure washing. So I write that content. I add it to my page, right? We showed you this. We put it in an accordion to make the content hidden, so to speak, but it's not hidden from Google. And we put all that content in here under the accordion. And once we have the page built, now this is what we told you this as well, but I'll just repeat myself. We took the home page. We SEO'd the basic structure of the home page by putting in the H1, H2, H3 tags for the keywords and the titles and wrote the content. Once that was done, because we can do it so simple in Cadence, is we copied this page and created the service pages. It was really a copy paste scenario. And then for every service page, we picked a keyword and we wrote the content. And we create, I'll show you in a minute in the dashboard, all the pages that we built using that same process. So literally that was pretty quick. That was a half an hour and we had 6 service pages built. Then we came back and we started using rank math. Rank math said, you know, your basic SEO, if anything was red here, we tried to fix it. And it keeps telling you you're doing good, you're doing bad by making the score go up. There's still more that we can do here. There's 3 errors showing as additional, right? What are they? We have a keyword density that's too high. So I can go back and eliminate some of the keywords. But for the moment, I'm not going to worry about it. They said we used a keyword before. Excuse me. But the moment, I'm not going to worry about it. We're not paying for the content AI at the moment because we don't even want to use it because we're expecting that some of you guys don't have it. Title readability, it'll tell you good or bad or indifferent. Content readability, it'll tell you, right? Now, what we haven't done here is the images. We haven't gotten into the images because that'll be a separate training to add an image to each page, and then SEO, the content of the image. But rank math is pretty simplistic when it comes to fixing these problems, right? So let's say that our keyword wasn't in our meta description. We go into the meta description, we put the keyword in, we rewrite this. We use Stephen's process of taking this keyword, going to Google, and seeing what the competition is writing for the actual keyword. And then we make a variation of it and try to turn each one into green. We can change the home page. It's best not to mess with the permalink. All the other pages will have a permalink with the keyword in it. If you did the right keyword when you built the page at the time, and it'll say / whatever your keyword is in the permalink. If that doesn't make sense to you guys, we have to go back and look at the basics of SEO in the training of when you're building pages. But that's on the homepage, you never have the permalink with the keyword in it. It's one of the exceptions. So as we went along, we kept bringing our score up by doing that. This is paid for AI content. If you want to pay for AI, you can go to Rank Math and upgrade your account, and you can use this. It's just going to ask me to buy it because I don't have it. You can use this to bring your score up using their AI generator to write the content in place of going out anywhere else and having it done. I didn't change anything, so we're not doing anything. So we went through every page and we brought up the scores. And what's nice about Rank Math, it gives you what's going on in each page as you go through it, telling you what the keyword is, what the schema is that you set up, the links, internal and outbound. Right, so we have 11 internal that are going inside the site. We have 11 that are, you're not going to show me what that means. Looks like external pointing to the site. And then already it's gotten 11 search impressions. So going through this process, we can try to make these higher, but at the end of the day, some of them, you're just not going to be able to get them. But it's better to have a focus keyword and SEO the best you can on those pages, but look on your service pages that you get as many as you can with the highest score as possible. We had done SEO training on Rank Math a long time ago and showed you how to get a perfect score every time following a different blueprint. But this is the real world. We're having AI write the content and we're coming back and fixing it. And that's what we're showing you guys. So you can build this type of site in any niche when you want to. Okay, so that's the basic pages built. And I'll say this also, that when you have the home page or whatever page you're going to replicate to build your other service pages, you want to have the SEO done as well as you can. And you don't have to use Rank Math in the beginning until you're ready to, but what you can do, I'm just going to do this real quick. I'm going to view this page in a new tab. So now I'm looking at the page. Rank Math, stuff is here, but let's look at this page as the different tools that are in extensions without getting into great detail. I love SEO Quake. It's a free Chrome extension. You're looking at the site. I'm going to go and diagnose this site, and it's going to tell me SEO-wise what Google looks at when I look at a particular website, a web URL. Once you get the first page on Google #1, what keeps you on page 1 and 2? How difficult is it to stay on page 1, what happens? You're setting up, Al, you're setting up for success from the beginning, right? So you have to put all of your SEO in place. And the SEO part is not just on page, it's off page. So what signals, right, does Google look for to make sure that that page stays where it should? What makes the difference of competition is other people out there are going to try to do their SEO, but there aren't 10,000 people trying to do pressure washing websites in Wellington. So the competition is out there, but it's not that bad. And most of the time and effort spent to get your SEO right, most of them don't want to either pay the money to have it done, then they don't know how to do it because they're not going to do it consistent enough. They're out there working. They don't have time to work and do websites and do social media postings and do new content, do more pages, do this, do that. They don't have the time to do all that. And some of the things that Stephen and I have developed that we add into the back end, which we haven't done here, we're going to do it in the next few weeks, but we get into the video ranker and we use the video ranker in portions of it, but we're not going to get into today, to also help to boost the SEO rankings by using authority. But the SEO world and staying on page 1 is consistent work towards your goal. If you're on page 1, you better consistently add content. Do the things that Google wants to maintain that position.
Also,
want to add to that, Stephen?
Yeah, also think about the old saying I've used a lot, and some of the existing members will know this. Google loves Google, right? So basically, Google owns YouTube. That's another big search engine signal, and Google loves Google. So also Google loves content. So when you are optimizing your content using AI, and then you go and put it on your site, do you leave it at that point? No. And what I'm getting at is when you search, let's say you did a search for pressure washing Wellington and you were number 4, yet the number 1 site has a different title on their SEO. Create a page related to that keyword and put that on your website. And then do a few backlinks to that site from social media and see what happens. I've been doing early tests, and between a physical page, which you then link to a post, and then you share that post on social media, you'll find you'll get good rankings. Google, when it comes to SEO, there's a few things I always say. One, there's no guarantees to being on page 1 when it comes to Google, and Google's always changing the goalposts all the time. And Google wants to make money. So if you get your site on page 1 close to the top, and you're in the free pack for Google My Business, and then you pay Google on top, or you find a really good person who can do Google advertising at a reasonable price, you end up in the free top places to get calls coming in. Now, when you're starting off on a budget, which a lot of local businesses in my area do, they go, I can't afford advertising. Okay, well, let's optimize your Google My Business listing. Let's optimize your website. Let's do the SEO right. Let's do the backlinks. Let's do the citations. And when you do all those standard things, and then last of all submit it to the Google Search Console, then you can get data from the Search Console of why your site may not be doing as well as it should do. And I always say the basics are build a website, get it up and running, do the SEO, then do your citations and backlinks. And you don't need tons. Don't go and buy 1,000 backlinks or citations off of Fiverr. You'll damage your site. Google wants local sites to be linked to your site to prove that you are that local site, as well as social media channels. So do that, and then last of all, the very last thing and we haven't done this with Robert's site yet, it's already got indexed, is submit it to the Search Console.
We just added it this week.
Yeah. So we've gone and done all the other bits first that we need to do, and then we've submitted it to the Search Console last of all. Why? Because when Google goes out to look for you, imagine this, you build a website, you submit to Search Console, Google goes, okay, Are they on Facebook? No. Are they on Twitter? No. Are they on that directory site for Wellington? No. Are they here? No. Well, then somebody's chucked a site up trying to play the system. We won't rank you. Or, hello, it's here, and everywhere. You know, so when it's being found online locally, Google's going to trust you more, which will make it easier to get a GMB. So hopefully that sort of explained that for you.
What we did is we added rank math towards we just put it on the site, but we had to go through every page and fix whatever rank math said we didn't have correct to bring up the score of each page. So like this one's still missing a featured image because I don't have any images on the site yet. They haven't been added. But we're going to get to images and what you're supposed to do with them. We just haven't done it yet. So what we did is we came in here and we looked at what we had. In many cases, we had a score of 80s already because of the service pages, but some of the pages were very low, like in the 20s. We came in, we checked the snippet, the meta description. We added keywords into it. We put the keyword on the actual page. So this page was written for the content of house washing, but with the rank math plugin, didn't have the keyword house washing added to it. So we put it in there, and then we went through each one of these things that were red and fixed them all the best that we could. Right? If there was something here that we didn't fix, they want a power word. Could I put a power word in this? Probably could, but I don't want to change things too much. But let's just say, I think power words are like, they're descriptive. They're like best house washing, you know, and I get another point, but I don't want to change what I have for my URL. I could keep it in there, but you know what? The difference, and I'm edging towards more traffic, that people are lazy. And they're going to type in many cases, house washing Wellington, or Wellington house washing, or Wellington pressure cleaning. They're not going to sometimes take the time to put in the longer tail keywords. But I promise you that when you have ranking for house washing Wellington, and then you have some other content in the site in blog posts in other places that say the words, you know, the buyer intent word, best, affordable, top ranked, whatever I forget all the buyer intent keywords off the top of my head at the moment. But those are things that people will type in. And you want to have buyer intent keywords and buyer intent content, you know, best price or cost, price of pressure washing. You know, how much does it cost to pressure wash my house? Longer tail keywords with buyer intent are great keywords because they're already willing to say, I want to buy it, I want to pay for it. So you want that kind of content on your sites. But rank math for us created this ability to go through and fix them one at a time and say, okay, I'm good with this score. Did I save my content? I go to the next page. I'm going to do this for Al because he's probably never seen it before. And it's really pretty cool how it works. We're going to do it once. Don't worry if you didn't follow it all together. But I'm going to take the home page. I'm going to edit it. I'm going to go into Cadence. See, it's in here. Is it here? Where's the duplicate, Steve? Is it here?
It's the three dots.
Oh, that's where. That's where. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm in the home page, and I want to make a
just
copy.
To say, this is only a feature in Cadence. You can't do this with other website builders.
I can come down here and copy all blocks, right? And I leave. So my homepage is fine, didn't do anything. I'm going to add a page.
Just to say, while Robert's doing this, what you can also do is go to a complete new URL with Cadence installed and do exactly this, copy and paste an entire page from one website to another, just by doing that copy all blocks, which I find is super cool as well.
I simply come down here and I paste. The entire homepage, right, went from a copy paste. And I come back through here and I take out Wellington and I put in Royal Palm Beach. If my content was different, I changed the content. But I built that page in seconds and all I do is publish. Right? That's why we like Cadence so much, because we can do things like that. We can copy sections, we can copy pages. Then we go right back to rank math after we published it. And we want to say, you know, pressure washing. We're not going to keep this page because we're going to show you something better later. Pressure washing, see my score, 74. You can play with these with your score as well. Take out the focus keyword and I'm going to put in, it's going to be lower. But if I really want pressure washing Royal Palm Beach, I put it in as my focus keyword and I come down here and I start fixing it. So it's not in my meta description. I go up here to edit snippet. I haven't published a page, so I don't have a permalink. I'm not going to do that. But in the snippet, I could put pressure washing, or I can go to ChatGPT or any AI writer and ask them to write me a meta description for pressure washing Royal Palm Beach. Yeah. And you put in more content and you fill the line in and it'll become green. So my score keeps going up as I fix the things that are broken, so to speak. Doesn't appear in the beginning of your content. That's correct, because I have Wellington here. I'm going to say Royal Palm Beach.
Just to say, Lane, absolutely worth putting in your site tree, because it gets pages found, and not, you know, always make sure that they're on the indexing page as well that Google goes and looks at. So
these are pretty good actually already. Image we didn't add. Keyword density is low because the density, the keyword isn't in the content that we wrote. It was all about Wellington from the homepage. We have to fix the word Wellington, this will go up. But it's that simplistic. If I'm not going to publish it, but we're just going to leave. That's why we like Cadence, because we can do that. But we have plugins and stuff that we've developed that we can make all of our city pages in a quicker way and do as many as we want in seconds. You already answered the site tree. Okay.
yeah.
So that's what we did in rank math. Now, what's happening out there in the world, right? We added it to the Search Console, and Stephen is putting that in the training. This site is, we said, a month old. Beginning of June is when we started it. So we have now 11 good pages, 9 fair pages, you know, where the scores are okay. But we're already being looked at for 19 different keywords, an average position of 74. Yeah, it's still out there, but it's only 30 days old. Sites are lucky to get indexed in 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So we're not only indexed, we're already starting to climb the mountain here, right?
It can
We're
take
getting
actually up to
impressions.
it can actually take up to 6 months to get any good page rankings, or and some sites I've known can be done as little in a few weeks. Some can take 4 months. It varies on Google, but which is why we say do the process we do, because every time we've done this process, on average, we found that the site's indexed itself with Google without us having to do much, because we've done all the hard work. We've built the website, we've SEO'd it up, we've done the citations and links, not tons, just enough locally, and then we submit to Search Console last of all, and Google will love that more, and that's the nice thing about it. In the same way, if we created a page on this site and we labeled it at the top cheap pressure washing Wellington, right? When people search for cheap pressure washing Wellington, I've just done a search on Google myself with FL on the end because I'm in the UK, so for Florida, and I'm looking down, right, and basically no one's got a page on there talking about cheap pressure washing, or the keyword, the title on the H1 tag, and then information. You could spin it. You could say, why pay for cheap pressure washing and have half a job done when you can have professional pressure washing done at a reasonable price? So you can spin the content. Now, if you created a page about that and put it up, when someone searches for cheap pressure washing Wellington, it's going to be number one. So
just you don't have to write the content and mean that you're cheap. You can just have content about cheap, right? You can always
give it a spin. It's the old saying that if you go online and someone's got a cheap pressure washer for 20 quid, you're going to think something's wrong with it. But if you went to a place and it went, don't buy one for 20 quid, buy this one for £59, and you'll be really pleased. Look at the reviews. Where are you going to buy the £59 one, aren't you?
It's funny. You can play that, because I see it all the time, especially here in Wellington. The guys that do pressure washing, and they do it really fast, leave the lines like it's barely clean, and you can get images taken of that and post it up. If you want cheap, this is what you got. You want a quality job, this is us. And the whole page can be about cheap, explaining why you don't want cheap, because you're going to get a crappy job. It's like cheap painting. The cheap painter doesn't even brush off the dirt. He just throws it on. But getting back to Rank Math, in the short time we've been using it, things are happening. And, at the end of the day, that's what we care about, is we've changed the scores. We've given Google more what they want. And at the end of the day, let's see if I put it in here.
While Robert's doing that, I'm going to say I've been doing SEO for quite some years now. I was doing it way before 2008, but 2008 was a year when I had my car accident, and I had to leave my full-time, very well paid job. I went around fixing servers, and I built websites instead. Now, back then, it was all built in HTML. We didn't have, WordPress was still about, but early stages. And so I did all my work in HTML, built the site up, did the SEO. SEO back then was much, much easier to rank a website. You just a keyword, and that was it. Now you have to do your competition. And there are tons of guru videos out there, and I've seen a lot of them, and I go, my favorite one of all was a couple of years ago, there's this guy selling software to rank your website. And I went on, and I knew I'd been on his webinar, and I thought, I'm going to go on they repeat webinars all the time. So I was looking out for his next one. I went back on it. In that time, I built a page, ranked it above his page, right? And then when we were live on the call, and I was under a fake name, I said, can you do that search live? And he went, sure. Did the search live. All right. The page at the top was mine. And I very quickly, just for that webinar, changed the text to say, hey, I've outranked you and I didn't follow your system. That's a banner at the top. And I basically sold a training course back then for 50 bucks. I sold more copies than he did, and after that, when he realized who I was, he banned me from all of his webinars. Even though I still go on some when he does them, because I go under a fake name. He doesn't know I'm there, you know. But it showed him up, you know. And all I literally SEO, the main core of SEO hasn't changed hugely. Build a really good website. That's number one. Then get some local backlinks, not tons. That's number two. Number three, submit it to Search Console and add more content as you go along. Look at what other people are doing on their pages and take their content. And I've ranked many of sites locally, even down to I've stopped doing discos now because when COVID hit, I wanted to get out of the disco business. But I was number one for discos in the whole of Somerset, annoying all of the other people, even down to I had a phone call from an agency saying, can we have work from you because you're clearly busy? And I was farming work out to other DJs, not via the agency. You know, and people overthink SEO. There's lots of gurus on YouTube, and they say do this, do that. Keyword research, and keyword research doesn't have to be hard. You know, like Robert's typed in on Google right now, pressure washing Wellington, right? So if you want to beat your competition, look at the number one search term, right, at the top. So as we come down, so starting from the top, they're sponsored adverts. Ignore them, right? The only way you can beat them is to do advertising yourself. Then you got your free pack, which you're going to SEO up anyway. Right, look at that last SEO one. It's in black writing. Pressure washing is there. The next one up, pressure washing. So you can add the keywords in here, right? When people are searching. Now, if we come down to the very first one, right? This guy's at the top, and I'm guessing he's at the top for a few reasons. One, he's got keywords in here. So we've done a search for pressure washing. On his website, he will have some good keywords, but not only that, he'll have some decent backlinks. The interesting thing on here is that pressure washing Wellington is actually got a service area page come up on his website. So he's got roof washing, house washing. And if you look in this title, the word pressure washing isn't actually mentioned there, but I would copy that content and get AI to write it even better. Compared to the next one down, Wellington's top rated soft washing and pressure washing company. You'd expect that to be number one because the keywords are in there. But I'm thinking that the top guy's actually got slightly better local backlinks and local social media channels.
I'm going to make a comment. I'm going to make a comment about that. You have to realize that SEO, a brand new website, doesn't have the age and Google has always been changing the algorithms and the imaginary sandbox, right, has been, what do you call it? Kind of been dismantled because in the newest algorithms, they don't let sites get to the top even though they deserve to be there. They give them a time delay fuse of having to climb up in a matter of weeks. It can be, but they won't go just because they have all the right parts right to the top of page one, because they're keeping some of the established sites that have aged domain names that have been out there with the backlinks, and they're keeping them at the top, even though at the currently, like Stephen pointed out, this site doesn't deserve to outrank what we're putting in here because our site is about pressure washing Wellington. But because Google algorithm is not letting us come right to the top right away, we will outrank this without a problem. That's how I feel about this, because they don't have it in the domain name, even though pressure cleaning is like a synonym for Google for pressure washing. It's like interchangeable almost. But because we have it in the domain name, this you're going to see in the next few weeks. And what's happening here, and I'm just pointing this out, I already know because I looked earlier, it's sitting on page 6 for pressure washing Wellington. In 30 days time, we're already climbing the ladder for a pretty competitive keyword. And if we make it more and more long tail, it'll come up higher and higher. That's why we're starting to get some search impressions. All we're getting
On
is our
page 6 already, Rob, at this stage, it's very impressive.
Right.
Because I know people who try and do their own SEO. I know a children's entertainer's trying to do his own, and he's reached out to me, and I've gone, well, unless you want to pay me, I haven't got the time. You know, and so to be on page 6 already and it moving up, you know, and if you've got a site that's already ranking on page 1 of Google, don't overthink about that, leave it alone. All right, and then go and look at other keywords and see if you can get pages up about that subject to then be found, and then do another one and another one, and you know, and that's the idea with this is create. Google loves content, and if you are serving the right content to the local people, someone who's going to type in, you know what, I really want cheap pressure washing. I want my driveway done, so cheap driveway pressure washing. Right, and you happen to have a page with those keywords on, it's going to serve it to them. So as we go along, we're going to add more pages, more blog posts, more content as we go along, and this is going to be indexed even better, even down to, like, if you look at that Facebook page there, that's just at the bottom there, pressure washing Wellington is the free keywords there straight away. Call us today for a free estimate, right?
What I want to bring your attention to is, because of what we did, we started creating citations and social media accounts. Well, whose Facebook page is this? It's ours. Okay, because this is a citation we created. This is the phone number on the website. And here, even though I didn't pay the money, right, for page 2, where is it? The Better Business Bureau. This is our listing on the Better Business Bureau website, but you cannot, it's not accredited, right? Because it wasn't paid for. If I give them $600, they'll accredit the website to be on the Better Business Bureau.
What's great is that's a great backlink for that area.
It's a great backlink. Yes, correct.
And sometimes you'll find by doing the free backlinks that you can get, that sites like that will pick up on your site and automatically create you a listing using their systems. And the reason they do that is they want you to pay them money. They'll reach out to you, go, hey, we've given you a listing. Well, thanks for giving me a listing, but I'm not going to pay you anything, not unless you give me a huge discount.
So that understanding of what's happening, like this is another screenshot, not whatever. It just has the toolbar for rank math if you want to show a toolbar. And it tells you where you're at. 61 is on page 6. Because for every 10 sites is a page.
I love the fact that it's gone up. It's got the up arrow, which means it's gone up some pages.
Right, which it does the Google dance on a regular basis. It's up, down, up, down, up, down, but it's constantly going up. Now, one other thing I did like to show in rank math, if you go to the SEO analyzer, you can run the analyzer like every time you want to. And it'll go out and it'll actually analyze this own website using rank math. Why I came up with that score, I don't know. But it's been in the 80s all day. So something just happened with rank math.
Sometimes also it can throw little wobblies when you're sharing your screen.
It's failing tests on something, which makes no sense. I'll have to look at that and see what happened.
Yeah. Sometimes as well, I found with rank math, it can give you some false positives, and then you'll refresh your browser or clear your cache, and it'll be all fine. So it does vary sometimes, but also, you know, the main thing is build your web. The amount of people who I talk to, and they haven't even built a website. Yeah, and you're an SEO guru. Build a website, get a website built and done, then do the SEO, and then move on to all the other bits and pieces afterwards. And you'll find, I rank sites all the time in towns very easily. I had someone message me the other day. They've got a site on Wix, and yes, you can rank sites on Wix, but it is a lot harder than building a website yourself. In the same way, like this is their mistake. So they do like prints and artwork and stuff like that, and they got their own shop on their website, and they're going, we're not getting any sales. Do you know the first thing I told them to do? Go and set up an Etsy account. Why? Because Etsy's already got traffic. Build your shop on Etsy, and then link it back to your website. That's another major backlink. And then you can build your own website in whatever you want. The thing is with Wix is you're paying them monthly for a website and also shopping cart. If you want to leave Wix, you lose your shop. You put it on Etsy, it's there for a very long time, and then you just share your stuff on Etsy on social media, and that's how you drive your traffic to it. Traffic isn't a difficult thing on a website. It's just finding that right niche in what you do. We've talked about this before on how to get clients, and I'm going to be very kind now and switch to just the Zoom meeting only. We'll say goodnight to YouTube because I'm going to share this little bit as well, but I want to keep it for our members who are live in the Zoom room. So night, YouTube.
Well, everybody enjoy your holiday weekend as it comes to a close. Be safe out there. Yeah. And we'll talk to you next week.
And this replay for guys will be inside of the school group.